Guys, Token Vaping, Polluted Pacific Vapes. Today's flavor review is by a company, I believe they're based out of Southern California. The company is called Plume Co. They do have a website at theplumeco.com where you can purchase their e-liquids for sale. Check out their Instagram page when you have a chance. They also have an email address as well. They do offer, right now, as far as I'm aware, they have three flavors. They do offer three nicotine levels, a 0, a 3, and a 6. It's a 30 ml bottle, and on their website you can purchase it for $11.98. So not a bad price at all. It is economically affordable for pretty much all vapors. It is a 70-30 mix ratio. However, one thing that I did notice when I vaped on their juice is that the clouds that it produces is definitely, it definitely comes off a bit thicker than you would assume from a 70-30 mix. Now, obviously, again, it's going to depend on what you're vaping it on, what kind of device, what kind of build you have, if you're using it in a tank. However, I did notice that, while I was vaping on this, a lot of the rings that I was able to do with this did definitely come out a lot more abundant. So it definitely has a very nice mixture between the VG and the PG. Now, this is their bottle. It does have their name, Plume Co. It is in a dark black bottle, which I think looks really, really cool. Does have the child safety cap on it. It has their name here. It has the nicotine level here. They do mark which one it is. On the front, underneath the logo name, they have the size of the bottle and the ratio mix. There is the name and their Instagram address as well as the warning and ingredients label on this side. So overall, it's not a super fancy, but it still kind of is. They're not using the see-through glass bottle or the amber. They did coat it with the black to help contain the flavor. So after it steeps, you're getting as highest quality mixture and the fullest flavor out of the different juices that they offer. So it does look kind of cool. Like I said, you look at it from a distance, and I mean, if you've ever heard the company, seen their posts, seen their pictures or anything about them, they do offer giveaways at times as well. So definitely check them out for that. But it does strike you. Again, it's not a clear glass bottle. The label is bright on the black, so it does pop. But it doesn't have a whole bunch of fanciness to it as well. So the three flavors that they offer in this line currently at the moment, one is called Masochist, which is a blueberry pomegranate with hint of vanilla. Infinity, which is mango, cantaloupe, and papaya. And I know I'm going to murder this name, but it's Zzyzx. So I'm going to assume it's Zzyzx, which I was informed with help that it is a town located in Southern California. So I'm going to assume that that's where they got the name from. But that is a yogurt with blueberry, peach, and watermelon. Now, I will be upfront and honest about this, as I try to be with all of my reviews. If you do not like, I don't want to say if you don't like fruit flavors, but if you don't like the more unique fruit flavors, like mango, cantaloupe, pomegranate, I mean, that's not stuff that's commonly in a lot of flavors nowadays. A lot of times when you see something and they say it's a fruit flavor, most people stick with the traditional like strawberries, blueberry, banana. But one cool thing with Plume Co is that they are trying to go a little different as far as, outside the norm, so that they're offering you something that isn't going to be standard on, every street corner. Mango, cantaloupe, papaya are not fruits that people would normally think of as a go-to flavor. So they definitely are going a little bit outside the box with that. So definitely hats off for that. But I will say all three flavors have a very unique flavor profile. So I definitely suggest and strongly urge that you definitely give them a try first. Because just because you may like cantaloupe, if you've never had it mixed with anything else, especially mangoes and or papayas, you may not like the combination. Now, if you're looking for something unique that's different from the norm, that isn't your standard cereal or dessert flavor or candy flavor, then absolutely, I strongly, highly suggest this line. Definitely give them a try if your local shop has them. If they do not, suggest it to them. Nowadays with so many juice companies that are out and about, it's hard for juice shops to be able to keep up with everything. Um, it's they may not have heard of them, or they may have seen them and just not realized what the flavor profiles are. So definitely suggest it to them as far as for something different and unique. Now, all three of them pretty much are going to be solid flavors. Um, it's it's definitely going to take a more I don't want to say stronger taste buds, but a more advanced vapor, in my opinion, to be able to specifically pick out everything about each flavor. Um, it's kind of one of those that if you just try to vape them, like if you just do a blind taste test on it and you try to vape it, you may definitely pick out some of the flavors. I will say that it's kind of going to be hard to pick out all of them. For instance, on the Masochist, the blueberry and the pomegranate, if you've never had pomegranate before, as far as like the actual fruit of it, you're definitely going to taste something different. Now, whether or not you know for sure or absolutely that it's pomegranate, that's going to depend on the vapor themselves. Everybody has a different taste palette. So again, as I state in all my videos, please do not take my opinion or my viewpoint of a flavor line as law. It definitely most certainly is not. I'm not trying to sit here and tell everybody this is what you have to follow. Um, I'm simply just trying to help the vaping community as a whole learn about different companies that they may not have access to. This company being from California, if you're on the East Coast, you may never have a chance to try them or hear of them. The same with companies that are on the East Coast. There's a lot of shops on the West Coast that I've discovered that may have seen a picture of them or may have heard about it, or they'll see a bottle that somebody may have ordered and been like, oh, hey, what's that? And they go into it further and do the research on it. So all I try to do with my videos is I try to help further the knowledge and experience of vapors to know what else is out there for them. You may be a specific flavor person and you may have tried everything that's by you and not found that one to hit your tongue the right way. Um, Maybe one of my videos helps you discover, oh, hey, you know what? That's a flavor I like. Let me try that out. And then you may like it and help that. So anything that I can do to further support and enhance the vaping community and the experience as a whole, absolutely. That's why I do what I do. I'm humbled and privileged every day that companies are willing to allow me to do the videos for their companies. I'm honored that people watch the videos, check me out on Instagram, the follows, the likes, the reposts, and things like that. So anything that I can do to help enhance the vaping experience as a whole, that's definitely why I'm here. Now, out of all three of them, it would be hard for me to really specifically pick out one out of the three that I thought was the best. Now, some can take that as a negative aspect of, well, obviously then they weren't good enough. That's not true. I don't want to also go out and say that this is the greatest company in the entire world because I don't really know them themselves all that well. I can tell by the vape, though, that they definitely put the time, effort, quality, and dedication into this to make sure that what they're putting out there is as top shelf as anybody else. Um, all three flavors vape very, very comfortably. Um, it is something that you could definitely use as an all day vape, which is one thing that I definitely look out for to begin with. From the first hit, you definitely know you're vaping something different. And I think that's probably the most positive factor for this company that definitely will help them stand out a little bit more than others. Instead of trying to match flavor for flavor with somebody, their flavors definitely hit you from the beginning, and they definitely let you realize that what you're vaping on is not going to be the normal flavor that you're used to from a different company. It definitely has an abundance of flavor. Some might find it a little sweet, some may not find it sweet enough, but it definitely is not lacking in flavor. You will for sure get flavor out of these liquids. They're not overpowering. Um, at least I didn't think so. It wasn't too much to where I thought that I wouldn't be able to vape it. I feel that if somebody chooses not to vape this all day, it's not going to be because the flavor's too much for them. It's just going to be that they're not used to the combination. Out of the three, however, I probably would have leaned on the Zzyzx. One, because I think it's a cool name and it's just kind of fun to say in a way. But also because it has yogurt involved in it, and I am a yogurt fan. Now, the blueberry peach watermelon combination, it may not sound like it's something new to the world, but again, not being a mixologist myself or not knowing the proper amounts of each to mix together, I could probably do it and totally make something that you would take one hit on and feel like you just ate like an over soaked Jolly Rancher. But these flavors do not have that feel to them. They do not have a candy feel. I know there is a lot of people out there, like when it comes to watermelon, it's usually because they're trying to do the watermelon Jolly Rancher aspect. But they are all very fruity. They are very flavorful. So if that's what you're leaning towards, by all means, this is definitely going to be a company that you may benefit from. Now, I do want to show you real quick the vape on this. As far as the clouds on this, like I said, it is a 70-30 mix. The clouds, I feel, come off a bit thicker and a lot more plentiful than some 70-30s that I've vaped on. Again, by no means does that mean that it's better or worse. It's just another factor as far as for trying to find a line that may work for you. So let me show you the vape on that real fast. And as always, my Wiccan Cotton, I'm using Texas Tough from USA_Vape Mama. Definitely check her out if you want. It's not another cotton ball. I almost said candy ball. Not really sure what that would have been. But as always, I'm going to go ahead and vape this on my Sigelli. So real quick, I'll show you what the thickness of the fluid looks like when you drip it. And I do this slowly just to show you the thickness. Some of these are thicker than others, so when they drip, they definitely do drip slower. Some that have a higher PG content are gonna drip a bit faster. So I like to show just the viscosity of it, just so that you can see the fluid itself. And as always, I am vaping at 60 watts. Just for me, that's just a comfortable vape. I know there are people out there that vape higher. Some have devices where they vape lower. So a lot of it just really comes down, again, to your preference, your style, what works for you. So just because I vape it at 60, if you vape it normally at 45 or 50, by all means, you know what? You vape what works best for you. So as you can definitely see, the clouds are definitely there. There is no lack of plumes from this, and so it's kind of fitting for the name too, since they do call themselves Plume Co, which is Plume Company. So you're not going to have a shortage of clouds. Now, if you are a for sure definite cloud chaser, you may still find a reason as to why the clouds aren't enough. For the everyday vapor, you definitely are going to get a nice combination of the two. The one thing that I'm always impressed by when a company does it, depending on what they use as far as for flavoring and things like that, is how clean the juice vapes. Now, I've been vaping on the 3 different flavors on and off for about a day and a half now. My cotton has pretty much stayed clean looking the entire time. I know a lot of people say, you shouldn't mix flavors on the same cotton. When you sample, you're kind of doing it anyway. I tend to do it a little bit, partly because I want to see if mixing some of the flavors causes, a flavor enhancement, how overpowering a certain flavor may be over another, whether or not if I'm vaping on one flavor and all I taste is the previous flavor that was on it. And then I also do it just to see how the cotton and my coils end up looking after a couple of different flavor changes. And this is I would probably say this is one of the cleaner ones, just because my cotton still has the same, and I wicked that yesterday morning. since I've been using these flavors. My cotton pretty much has stayed the same uh, thickness. I know once after you drip for a while, your cotton starts to thin down because it's just getting weighed down with leftover juice that gets dried out in it from constant heating and everything else like that. But my cotton, for the most part, has stayed about the same thickness. Color wise, it's stayed the same. Obviously, there's going to be a slight color difference. It's not going to stay pure white. But overall, I mean, Plume Co definitely vapes very very clean. So it is definitely a big thumbs up to them for that. It just also shows that like a lot of companies nowadays, they're trying to stay away from using a bunch of extra chemicals or additives that aren't needed, aren't necessary. Trying to make the vaping experience not only more enjoyable and comfortable, but more cleaner, especially if you get it with no nicotine, which that's going to be part of the discoloration of your cotton. It should basically vape super clean for you at that point. As with a lot of companies nowadays, everybody's trying to ensure the quality of the ingredients that they use. Plume Co is no different. It's all locally sourced. It's all pharmaceutically and USP kosher. So don't feel that you're going to be shorted in any field like that just because something may taste different or because they're trying to go a different route. Um, Most companies that I've had the honor of reviewing definitely would rather find a different flavor to do than have to cut a corner or short the quality of their product to the vapor. So that's definitely a big positive note for the vaping community as a whole. But overall, like I said, it's not a line that I think is going to be 100% for everybody. Not any line is. I don't think there's a single line out there that is definitely going to be 100% it for every vapor in the world. But it definitely, like I said, with the heavier clouds for a 70-30 mix, with the unique flavor profiles that they are trying to do with this, with the abundance of flavor without being too much, and with how clean it vapes, I definitely think Plume Co is a line to definitely consider, especially if you're looking for something outside the norm. Everybody has their go-to flavor. I do. I know my boss does. Other vapors that I talk to on a regular basis. Everybody has one specific flavor, or they may even have a specific flavor from a specific company that is their go-to, no matter what. With that said, don't ever limit yourself to trying something different. Even if you don't like it, you at least tried it, especially with vaping, because there are so many different mixtures, combinations, profiles, flavor choices out there. Everybody's always trying to find that next new flavor to come out. Don't ever limit yourself unless you have an allergy to something. And by all means, if you do, I'm not trying to say ignore that. Absolutely. Always follow what's healthy and right for you. But don't ever short yourself the opportunity to try something new that you may never thought you would vape. These are combinations that I probably would have never even thought of, even though I know what they all are. So definitely give a try to new lines. You may find something new that you want to add to your collection or your favorites. But overall, Plume Co is definitely worth giving a shot, especially if you want something different. So Plume Co, thank you very much for the opportunity. I'm grateful and privileged to have done the review for you guys. Vaping community, what can I say? I am humbled and privileged every day that I'm continually able to do this for you guys. Um, I enjoy every minute of it, always. Definitely hit me up, tokenvaping@gmail.com, here on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest. Any comments, questions, concerns that you guys might have about anything. Now, I do mainly juice reviews, but that doesn't mean that I'm not willing to do device reviews as well. They're just harder to come by. But I would definitely reach out to the different companies and see what I can find out. It may just be information that I can get from them to help make a decision or help you decide on something specific. But definitely hit me up. I have absolutely no problem trying to find out what I can for any and all questions pertaining to vaping. Until next time, guys, Plume Co, thank you again very much. It was an honor. Vaping community, vape on, vape strong, guys. Have a good day.